So we first just came back to look at the illegal migrant schools and just asked them how we could help them. And essentially what we found is that we needed to gain their trust. And at that time I began looking for a community center that we could use as a base to work out of in these migrant communities. And so we walked in day after day, and the landlords are power holders in these communities, and they just laughed at me, scoffed at me, why I would want to rent one of these buildings. And I finally just got fed up and I said, look, I'm going to keep coming back and bothering you for the next year. It'd be in your best interest to go ahead and find a place for me to rent. One day one of the landlords called me very excited and said, I have a place for you to look at. And I came and it was actually, strange that we're standing here, it was actually this building right here that we were first going to rent this little room as a base. A lot of our value, what we have to bring in, is simply hope, where we come in and say, we value you. You are not a second-class citizen, but you are a contributing member of Chinese society. You have so much to offer. If you take these 10,000 people that are in this community and you transport them to New York City, and they were born in New York City, some of them would be mayors and doctors and lawyers and leaders in their community. It's simply that they were born with less opportunity, and they do with what they can. Some of them are great entrepreneurs. Some of them are pouring their hearts out as migrant headmasters of these migrant schools and as teachers that are making no money whatsoever. Maybe if even $100 US a month, and just pouring out their hearts for kids like Yukun and these different guys. And we are honored actually now in many ways to be able to serve them and work alongside of them. These communities are vary in China, and even in Beijing. You go into different migrant communities. Some of them are more urban, some of them are more rural. You can see here the muddy dirt roads that are alleyways that are back in the houses. Over here you can see these small rooms, and the doors indicate how large these rooms are. They're probably about 4 square meters there. A family of 3 or even 4 can live there. So this is our, as you've already seen, this is our first community center ever. It's about 250 square meters. We just rented a few more facilities in the back to make it 500 square meters. Essentially at the new community center model that we're pouring throughout Beijing and hope to put in other cities in China. It has 3 pillar programs in that. During the day, it's life and vocational skills training for migrant youth age 16 to 20 to get them a job tomorrow. We partner directly with companies to place them in companies, but we also train them in the intangibles of life skills. So that happens during the days, and then they move out, and the kids from the surrounding migrant schools pour in the evenings for after-school programs. We have the first hour is homework tutoring, and the second hour is arts and crafts and sports and computer and that sort of thing. And then on the weekends we have training for the migrant teachers and parenting workshops for the migrant families. The vision that we're working towards probably will not be seen and be fully realized by us in this generation, even with these kids that we're working with that are 15 years old, 10 years old. But I believe that the vision that we really have is for their kids. Actually, we can give them a foothold in Chinese society, and their kids to be born into a world that they have no thought whatsoever of, am I a second-class citizen? Why am I not accepted? But that they're born into a world that doesn't exist. That's what we're working towards.